Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ikea. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining, and if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. So today's video is all about winter fragrances. I think that winter actually might be my favorite time of year to wear fragrances because I get to pull out my heavy hitters. I get to wear my ouds, I get to wear my fragrances that have leather and suede and are just very, very heavy, beastie, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of my favorite winter fragrances. Be sure to comment down below and let me know what you're wearing this winter, what you can't wait to grab for, or what's on your wish list. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, of course. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and be sure to click on that notification bell so you do not miss out on a single video. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the first fragrance that I want to share with you all is from Replica, and this is Jazz Club. This is probably my favorite Replica fragrance. It is just so beautiful. Now this is supposed to be a male fragrance, but honestly, I know a ton of women who wear this fragrance as well, so I like to think of this as unisex. This is a beautiful, boozy, a little smoky amber fragrance. There's tobacco in here. There's a little bit of rum, pink pepper. There's some jasmine in here, as well as a little bit of vanilla. I am obsessed with this fragrance. This reminds me of being at a jazz club or a cigar bar and like the smokiness and the aroma in the air. I just love this fragrance so much. Again, I get a ton of compliments on this fragrance. I know that this is perfect if you want to share it with your significant other, but if you like deep fragrances that are a little boozy, that are really, really kind of heavy and really warm, I definitely would recommend Jazz Club. Yeah, Jazz Club is a fragrance that I grab and reach for all the time in the fall and especially in the winter time. This is great for date nights. I particularly wear this at nighttime. I don't really wear this during the day, but it just smells so good. So I mentioned before that oud is one of my favorite fragrance notes, and I typically only wear my fragrances with oud in them in the cooler months. There's only a few fragrances in my collection that I can get away with wearing them in the spring and summertime that have oud, but one of my favorite fragrances that has oud in it is Oud Bouquet from Lancome. This is such a beautiful gourmand fragrance, and I honestly feel like this is a great introduction to oud because oud is such a unique note, and some people, they either love it or they hate it. There's praline in here, caramel, a little bit of vanilla. Of course, there's oud in here. There is also a few woody notes and rose. I am obsessed with this fragrance. I know I'm going to say I'm obsessed with all of the fragrances, but this one is just so beautiful, so delicious. This is oud done right to me, and again, I think that this is a great introduction to oud, especially if you don't want something that's super, super heavy. I do feel like this is still beast mode. This is still a very heavy hitter. However, this is a great fragrance that's appealing to the masses, especially to people who like sweet scents. This is just so feminine and so beautiful. You can get away with wearing this during the daytime, but I also like to wear this at night on date nights. It's just so delicious and so divine. Sometimes I just walk around my perfume collection and I just grab it and sniff it because it just smells so good. So if you like gourmand fragrances, then I would definitely suggest checking out Lancome's Oud Bouquet because it is just delicious, okay? Delicious. So as we're talking about beautiful oud gourmand fragrances, this next fragrance that I want to share is also one of those fragrances that's really, really sweet and so beautiful. This is Shaghaf Oud from Swiss Arabian, and a lot of people actually compare this to Lancome's Oud Bouquet. I personally do think that this is a great dupe for Oud Bouquet, and it's also really affordable. Oud Bouquet is on the higher end. I think it's in the 200s or 300s. Shaghaf Oud's Swiss Arabian is about $50 or $60. You can get it from a variety of different places like Amazon or Fragrance Net, but this is such a great dupe for Oud Bouquet. This is a beautiful rose vanilla oudi fragrance. There's also praline in here, there's rose, there's vanilla, there's some woody notes, and there's also some saffron in here. Now to me, this one is a little bit more on the rose side, and Oud Bouquet to me is a little bit more on the vanilla side, but they both give off the same vibe, and the oud is done so nicely in this fragrance. It's so smooth, it's not rigid, it's not like an animalic oud. It is done so nicely and it is so beautiful. Again, this is one of my most affordable fragrances in my collection, and I reach for this all the time in the winter because it is just one of those fragrances that I just can't get enough of. I get a ton of compliments on this one as well, and if you want something that's beast mode, that projects very nicely, that has longevity, I would definitely suggest checking out Shaghaf Oud from Swiss Arabian. Again, I will link this down below because there are a ton of different places where you can locate this for affordable prices. So I'll be sure to link any of them down below so that you can check them out. So another fragrance that I absolutely love reaching for in the winter time is New York Nights from Bond No. 9. This is such a delicious gourmand fragrance, y'all. This makes my mouth water. It is so delicious and so sweet. Now this is actually a unisex fragrance, and honestly I don't think that this one leans more masculine or more feminine. I think it's right in the middle, but it is so delicious. Every time I smell this, I just get so happy. So if you like caramel, I definitely recommend checking this fragrance out because this is like heavy on the caramel. There's caramel in here, there's a little bit of coffee, vanilla, there's jasmine, gardenia, and a ton of other floral notes. But that caramel definitely stands out to me, and it's just so sweet and delicious and divine. It is a little warm, it's a little spicy, which is why I reach for this one more in the cooler months. But y'all, if you love gourmands and you want something that's sweet, not overly sweet like syrupy sweet, but it is still sweet and delicious and divine and a compliment getter, I would definitely recommend checking out New York Nights. Y'all, I'm about to be wearing this all winter because it is my jam, okay? This is great for a cozy kind of vibe if you're doing maybe like a cozy date night, or even during the daytime. This is also really great. It's not offensive either. I think you can get away with wearing this all throughout the day. Again, I get a ton of compliments on this fragrance, and I love it so much. Again, this is New York Nights from Bond No. 9. All right, y'all. So this next fragrance is one of my favorites, and this is from Tom Ford. This is Tobacco Vanille. This is one of my favorite Tom Ford fragrances, I think because it's a fragrance that is great for the masses. Some of the Tom Ford fragrances, you really kind of have to get used to smelling them. They're a little unique and they're very different. This one to me is very much for the masses, and I can see why a ton of people like it. It smells so beautiful. This is a beautiful vanilla, spicy, boozy fragrance. I just really love Tobacco Vanille. I get a ton of compliments on this one as well. I feel like this is a fragrance that you can definitely pull off in the daytime and in the nighttime. I love to layer this fragrance with some other fragrances of mine to get that vanilla going, but Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille is just so delicious. It's so spicy, and if you love spicy fragrances, I would definitely recommend this one. It's not superly offensive. Now, if you're looking for something that's unique, then this one probably isn't for you because honestly, this isn't the most unique fragrance from Tom Ford, and honestly, it's not the most unique fragrance that I've smelled, but I do still really enjoy this, and I love pulling this out in the cooler months. It's something special to me, and I love to wear it. Again, I also get a ton of compliments on this one. I like to wear this one on a more casual vibe though. I don't really pull this out for something that's a little bit more dressy. If I do, then I will layer it with something else. But when I'm just having like a casual chill night, or I'm doing something with my girls, then I just like to pull out this fragrance. Again, it is so beautiful, and I think that this is a great fragrance for the masses. So this is Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. So another fragrance that I'm always grabbing for in the winter time is Tom Ford's Black Orchid. Y'all, I love this fragrance so much. Now, if you want a unique and complex fragrance from Tom Ford, I would definitely suggest Black Orchid. This is very complex. There's a ton of notes in this, and it is just so unique and so beautiful. Now, this gives me like a warm, spicy vibe, but it's also a little earthy. So in this fragrance, there's gardenia, there's also a little bit of Mexican chocolate, there's patchouli, jasmine, amber, there's some spicy notes. There are a ton of notes in this fragrance, which makes it so unique. It makes it so complex. And I love that. I feel like once I spray this on my skin, I can just smell so many different layers of the fragrance, and it just makes me so happy. I get a ton of compliments on this fragrance, and this is a great unisex scent. I, again, think that you can share this with your partner if they enjoy it as well. But Black Orchid is to me, one of the best Tom Ford fragrances, especially from their regular line. I know I like a ton of their fragrances from their private blend as well, but this one is just from their original line, and it is amazing. It smells so good. It's a little bit more affordable than their private blend fragrances. So I definitely suggest getting your hands on this one if you can. But again, if you like fragrances that are very unique, that stand out, ones that are earthy, a little warm and spicy and sensual, then I definitely say check out Black Orchid from Tom Ford. I feel like you will not be disappointed. This is just such a great fragrance. All right, y'all. So when we talk about boozy, heavy hitter fragrances, this one automatically comes to mind. This is Angel Share by Kilian, and ooh wee. If you like a boozy note and you like something that is sweet, gourmand, but very unique, I definitely say check this one out. Angel Share is such a beautiful, warm, spicy, again, boozy fragrance. There's cognac in here. There's some tonka bean, vanilla, cinnamon. There's also some woody notes in this fragrance, but this is really unique to me. This is probably one of the most unique fragrances from Kilian. I really enjoyed this, especially in the cooler months. It is just so, so beautiful. Honestly, I really do love this fragrance a lot. This is a compliment getter, and this is beast mode, okay? Do not spray too much of this. You cannot overspray this fragrance because honestly, it will probably give you a headache. I oversprayed this one time and I was like about to gag because I just was doing way too much. This is really beast mode, and this is a great performer. So I would suggest not overspraying this, but it is just such a beautiful scent. The cinnamon really stands out to me. So this reminds me of a cinnamon donut. Whenever I smell this fragrance, it actually just gives me vibes of being at like a apple orchard, or, you know, out picking apples or going and picking out pumpkins. It does give me more of a fall vibe, but it stands out just as well in the winter time as well. And I always wear it in the winter time. It's just, again, so, so beautiful. That cognac is really heavy in here, so you do smell a little boozy, but you don't smell like you're reeking of alcohol. It is blended very nicely with the other notes. And if you like unique fragrances that are sweet and stand out a little bit, then I would definitely recommend checking this one out because I'm gonna be wearing this all winter long. So I mentioned that I love wearing spicy fragrances and ones that are woody, but I also love fragrances that are smoky. And this fragrance right here is probably the smokiest fragrance that I have in my collection. This is Whispers of Truth Noir from the house of Sillage. And ooh, when I say smoky, it is very, very smoky. So of course there is smoke in here. There's suede, there's leather in here. There's some floral notes in here, and there's also a little bit of vanilla and amber. But y'all, this one, I will be honest, is not for everybody. This one is not for the play. If you don't like tobacco and you don't like smoke, I definitely would not recommend this because it is heavy on the suede, the leather, and the smoke and the tobacco. But it is so beautifully done. It's really, really sexy. This is very alluring. This is very captivating, okay? You will definitely command attention when you wear this fragrance. Again, this is not for everybody. It is pretty unique, and again, it is very smoky, but I just really love this fragrance so much. Like, I really enjoyed this. This actually launched this year, and it's one of my favorite fragrances from the House of Sillage that launched in 2021. I have been waiting for wintertime to wear this because I think this came out in maybe at the end of the summer, but I feel like this performs a lot better in the cooler months, and I love it so much, y'all. So if you want something that's very sensual, very seductive, this is definitely a nighttime fragrance. I would probably not wear this at all during the daytime, but again, you can wear whatever you want whenever you want. But I probably wouldn't wear this during the day, but at nighttime, this really shines. It is so luscious and so luxurious, and I just really love this so much. So if you want a great date night fragrance in the wintertime, I definitely recommend checking out Whispers of Truth Noir from the House of Sillage, because y'all, I'm gonna be smoking everything up, okay? I'm gonna be smelling like this all the time. So this next fragrance is a really beautiful woody patchouli kind of fragrance. It's also a tad bit powdery. This is Loubicro from Christian Louboutin, and I really enjoy this fragrance. It's warm, it's spicy, there's cedar in here, there's patchouli, and there's tonka bean. So it's a little sweet, but not really. To me, it's a little bit more powdery, and that patchouli really does stand out along with that cedar. This is such a beautiful fragrance though. It's actually one of my favorite from the Christian Louboutin line of these fragrances. I think there's like 6 or 7 of these different types of fragrances, and this one is one of my favorites. I definitely think it stands out in the cooler months though. It's warm again, and it's very spicy, and it is such a beautiful fragrance. So if you like something that's warm, spicy, a little powdery, this one isn't like super deep or super offensive either. So I feel like you can get away with wearing this during multiple occasions. But if you had your eye on any of the Christian Louboutin fragrances, I definitely recommend checking out Loubicro. So this next fragrance is Grand Soir from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I know everybody loves Baccarat Rouge by 40, but he actually does have other fragrances. This one smells so divine, okay? It just reminds me of something luxurious. First of all, the name Grand Soir just sounds so fancy and expensive, and honestly, this fragrance is expensive. But Grand Soir is a beautiful ambery vanilla fragrance. There's amber, of course, in here. There's vanilla, tonka bean, and there's benzoin. This is such a beautiful fragrance. It actually kind of reminds me or gives me the same vibes as Jazz Club from Replica. It's more of like that deep fragrance. It's not boozy though. There's no boozy notes in here, but the amber really does stand out along with that vanilla. I really do enjoy this fragrance. This might be one of my favorites from MFK. Of course, I love Baccarat Rouge by 40, but this might be up there. Like, I really enjoy the fragrances from MFK so much. This one stands out to me though. It's very unique, and again, that amber really stands out. So if you really love amber, this is a great fragrance to check out. All right, y'all. We are still on MFK fragrances, and when we talk about beast mode, I'm talking beastie mode fragrances, heavy hitters. This always comes to mind. So again, this fragrance is from MFK, Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and this is Oud Satin Mood. So first of all, I want to shout out to you all because y'all recommended that I check this fragrance out, and you all were very much right. Y'all know me so well. I am obsessed with this, okay? This is such a beautiful, sweet oud vanilla and rose fragrance. Honestly, I'm just gonna spray it because I cannot get enough of this scent. Oud Satin Mood is a vibe, okay? A vibe that I don't ever want to miss. A vibe I always gotta catch, okay? This is so beautiful. It's heavy, it's thick, a little goes a long way. The longevity, this is probably one of my best performing fragrances. It lasts so long to where I have to like scrub it off, because if I spray it on my skin or even if I spray it on my clothes, it is never coming off. I will smell it for days and days and days and days and days, but it is so beautiful, so I don't mind smelling it. This is sexy, okay? Very very sexy. And honestly, it's very sensual and sexy on both men and women. This is a beautiful unisex scent and I just love it so much. It is heavy on the rose. There's Turkish rose in here. There is vanilla in here as well as oud and some other woody notes. But that rose, vanilla, and oud definitely balance so nicely in this fragrance. And you can definitely smell all of those notes. It is just so beautiful though. If you want to amp it up, you want to step your game up and you really want to elevate your perfume experience, I would definitely suggest checking out Oud Satin Mood because there is nothing like this fragrance. Honestly, I can't find anything that's comparable to this. I know people say that there are dupes out there, but I can't find a dupe that compares to this. There's nothing like Oud Satin Mood to me. She is number one and not the two, okay? When it comes to ouds, this fragrance is like oud perfection, okay? It's oud perfection. It is just so beautiful. It is done right. So they also have another fragrance from MFK, which is Oud Silk Mood. That one smells really great as well. It leans a little bit more feminine to me compared to Oud Satin Mood. Oud Satin Mood is also more beastie to me. It's very much heavy, strong, and very much warm. But if you want something that's like a little bit more of an introduction to oud, I would recommend Oud Silk Mood. This one to me is for more of an experienced oud fragrance lover because it is heavy on the oud. As soon as you spray this fragrance, you can smell vanilla and oud and rose. So if you're not sure if you like oud, then I probably would suggest checking out Oud Silk Mood in comparison to Oud Satin Mood. But this one, she is not for the play, okay? Oud Satin Mood is just not for the play. This is strong. This is inviting. This is alluring. This is very, 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 very sexy. And I wouldn't wear this if you don't want anybody to notice you. If you don't want people talking to you, I probably wouldn't wear this fragrance because as soon as you walk outside, you are going to get compliments. That's how great this fragrance is. But again, this is Oud Satin Mood from Mason Francis Kurkdjian, and she is fantastic. All right, y'all. I feel like I saved the best one for last, in my opinion. This is Oud Ispahan from Dior, and woo! This gives me all the winter vibes. Now, this fragrance is probably the strongest beast mode fragrance I have in my collection. It is very heavy. Very, very heavy, okay? It is heavy on the oud as well. But this is a beautiful oud rose fragrance. It's not sweet at all. So in this fragrance, there is rose in the opening, and then in the mid is where you get that oud. There's also some patchouli in here. And then in the base, there are some woody notes like cedar. And I am not playing with y'all. This fragrance is not for the play, okay? It is so strong. It is so heavy, but it is so luxurious. To me, when I smell this fragrance, I imagine what Dubai smells like. It just gives me very much luxurious, upper echelon, very, very important, high class. I don't know. It just gives me a very high, elevated vibe. This is for the people that want to give off rich energy, okay? If you want to be like a rich auntie, you want to give off a rich auntie vibes, this is definitely that fragrance. It is just so, so beautiful. Again, I imagine this is what Dubai smells like riches, I don't know, dripping in gold. That is what this fragrance makes me think of. But this is such a beautiful, warm, woody rose fragrance. I probably wouldn't recommend this if you're not a fan of oud because it is heavy on the oud and it is beast performing. But if you love oud like I do, then this one is the one for you, okay? Honestly, a little goes a long way. Like, you do not need a lot. I would definitely suggest not overspraying this because it performs so well. If you want a fragrance that, like, you want to be that woman and you want people to smell you without even knowing you've walked in a room, this is that fragrance, okay? I'm telling you, when you walk in a room, everybody's gonna be like, what is that smell? Where did that come from? That's what this fragrance does. So if you want people to smell you without even seeing you or without even knowing you're in the room, you want that kind of attention to be like, oh, she's in the room and I don't even know where she is, but I can smell her. That's what Oud Ispahan does. It's everything. I could literally rave about this fragrance over and over and over and over again, but it is just so beautifully done. I have honestly been waiting for it to get cool so I can whip this out because it is my favorite winter scent. And I told y'all I saved the best for last, in my opinion, because this one actually is my favorite. It does something to me. Now, I would not wear this during the daytime. I know some people actually do wear it in the daytime, but me personally, I like to let this shine at night. To me, this is like for a formal event. Like if you're going to a gala or a ball or something really, really elevated, then I would definitely pull this out. Or even just like a really fancy date night or a fancy dinner. That's when I would pull this fragrance out, because I'm telling y'all, once you have this on, you have to be careful, okay? Because once you have this on, everybody is going to be stopping you. Everybody is going to be talking to you. So if you don't want all the boys coming to the yard, don't wear this. But for real, Oud Ispahan is such a beautiful, beautiful scent. So if you like woody rose fragrances, especially oud fragrances, then I would definitely suggest checking out Oud Ispahan from Dior. All right, y'all, so those were the fragrances that I will definitely be grabbing and reaching for this winter time. Comment down below, though, and let me know what you plan on wearing this winter, what's on your wish list for winter fragrances, because y'all already know I'm nosy, and I also just love to know what y'all are wearing. So again, I thank y'all so, so much for watching this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it, of course. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and you can check me out on social media. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. My information will be linked down below in the description box. I'll also be sure to link all of the fragrances that I mentioned in this video in the description box as well. I hope y'all have a great one. Stay safe, and I will talk to you later. Bye.